Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And
let's play a game together.
All right, so we
Aye.
are back with Lily's Garden, and yeah, there's no way these stars are making it to day 30. I thought it would be like a nice round number or something, but it's not happening. All right, so do we want to open the hood? Choose the, you know what, we're just going to do them in order and see how wild this is.
Sure,
All
why
right,
not? Let's find out how
choose
far we bounce.
The bus stop
The
bench. Where do
bounce.
we, if we do it in their prescribed or proposed order,
Aye.
where do we bounce to? Like, well, we've just yeeted away from, Mom.
What was your first clue? Bench could use some fixing up.
Really? Do you think so? You don't think that looks like the ultimate in butt comfort?
Butt luxury.
Oh, sorry, butt luxury.
Luxurious bourgeoisie assholery.
Is this not the ultimate in booty support and
Aye.
butt comfort? Aye.
Buttfort.
Buttfort. Luxury ass.
Ha
ha,
ha
ha,
ha. I love it. I have no soul.
I hope everyone who loves puns just dies as much as we do when they're just that bad. All right.
It's fine.
Everything could use some fixing up.
Like
all of it.
my dude.
My dude. But yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's pick a bench.
Right, bench.
That
looks
bench
really
is
a lot
awful.
Smaller. That's so smaller. It looks damaged.
Oh, so does that.
Your wood looks
They
terrible.
look terrible.
All of your wood looks terrible, and it's all smaller than the original bench.
Oh my god.
But that looks so torn up. At least this one's not as torn up, but the wood looks really bad.
It really does. Oh no, we're doing vintage. Oh honey.
Oh God, why though?
Oh honey.
Fine, I'm doing the damn stools, because that makes no sense at all to me.
Sure, what up? Found a little photo here.
Because
of course I did.
In the ass station?
Yes. Got your booty game. You know what happened? It's like the thing of being in the office where all the characters go and they pull down their pants and they sit on the printer,
And they
the
copy
scanner, and they copy the butt.
The copy machine, and they copy their butts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're just like...
I need to know how many people actually do that, because I've done the face thing, but like butt thing is like, ew.
I have never copied any of my anything on a copier.
I've done my hands too.
Never even my hands.
I was not in my dad's office at all as a child.
Now I have done objects. That's been a fun one because it'll do the shadow and relief really, really strong. Like if you put a hardback book in a copier, it can't close all the way, and so it'll just have a cool like light effect on it.
Right.
But never any part of myself.
All
right. Oh look.
Mary, Arthur, and Leonard, 1959.
Look at
Who's
the pantsuit.
Leonard?
It's a pantsuit.
Also, he's clearly a nerd. Look at the nerd cred for his
Maybe Arturo's
pocket
son,
protector.
Leonard. Because you had on the tree.
Oh yeah.
So the next generation is also friends. Maybe.
Maybe.
That's Aunt Mary and Uncle Arthur.
Again, all Polaroids.
Yeah.
I still have. It's fine. It's okay. I'm having an experience.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm also like, who took your picture? I want to know who took the picture. Because in here, my most intense question about these pictures, other than how the hell did you set up this good of a scavenger hunt that you were absolutely sure would stay in place, which we could just assume Mr. Jones is doing it inappropriately, sneaking on the property as you go from area to area.
Right.
We'll just say it's that. That way they're not actually sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, because they would have way more damage.
I was just say, and they're more likelihood of getting lost, whatever. But also just being like, who's taking these pictures? I need to know.
And that beautiful car and some other beautiful guy. I mean, the other guy.
Yes.
And
that beautiful car.
And that
with
beautiful
that
man.
Hi.
And then some other guy. Luke, it's okay.
It's a whole lot of beautiful men. In a beautiful car.
Perfect. Let me see. I need to know. Get out of the way. Scoot, scoot.
Excuse me, I'm gay.
Get out of the way. I'm gay.
Yes. You never know.
You don't know, actually.
And the way she seems to sort of use men and throw them away like tissues, then it's possible.
Oh, yeah, that's Leonard Ricci. His car, too.
So what you need to know is your aunt and uncle were crap, and, this guy was way better.
Completely.
All right, well, that's good.
Excuse me. Definitely not Uncle Arthur's. He had the most boring cars. Not even worth joyriding.
You couldn't look cool in any of their stuff. Aunt Mary and Uncle Arthur were never cool by my standards. Ugh.
You know, like, I keep trying to think about it, but, like, I don't think I've ever been car joyriding in my whole life.
I don't even understand the purpose of car joyriding.
I don't either.
I have known people who've done it, and I know which street in the town I grew up in on people do it, like North Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And I've been walking with a friend, like when I was I want to say a little kid, but I was like 13 or 14.
Oh yeah, you were tiny. You were impossibly small. Like, the only time I ever got close to it, I think, is when I was like
what I was gonna
17.
say is when I was walking sometimes when I was a young teenager,
Right.
sometimes with friends, sometimes we'd get catcalled from people joyriding in their fancy cars.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a thing.
And you're kind of like, excuse me, I'm 13.
Occasionally you'd get a girl leaning out of one of those joyriding cars calling us, ugly or stupid or lame because, we're not in one of those cars, I guess.
I guess. Honestly,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand that culture at all. That is a
But-
thing of being like, I feel powerful.
I've never had any particular love for cars. Ever.
Yeah.
I have an uncle who's a mechanic. My first stepdad was very into cars. My brother really likes cars. I don't know. I just never have cared for cars. Like, yeah. So
The
I don't,
reason I
the
don't
whole
like-
passion for cars, I just don't really have a connection to, and I don't really care. In the same way that, like, I guess machinery is really fucking cool, and engines are really goddamn cool, and it does cool stuff, but driving around's not cool.
Well, especially in regards to the fact, at least for me, I was always interested in money saving. So
That too,
fucking
yeah.
around with
Cars are very expensive. So I've been more interested in like manufacturing machines and machines that do more than just drive.
Yeah.
So like a machine that is more like, heavy lifting equipment, landscaping equipment, something that does something, it's like it's a lathe or it's a saw or, whatever it is. I have way more interest in that. But I've been in, manufacturing work. Like my first job, like real job, as a teenager was in manufacturing. You hit 18 and you're like, I will go work in the giant warehouse over there with the computer building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was me.
Yeah. See, so the closest I ever got to joyriding was when I was with a friend.
Okay.
And we were driving around my little Echo.
Oh no.
So it was like I don't remember exactly what the brand is, but they're really tiny little economic cars that people.
The little 2-door hatchback things, right?
No, they're not. They're not like, they don't have a hatchback in that way, but they're
They
too
have an
small.
actual trunk?
No, they're just. I don't.
Okay, hatchback is how you open the back of the car. That's the shape of. They either have a trunk or a hatchback, or the back of the car does not open at all.
Well, I guess it is a hatchback then. I always think of hatchback being a very specific experience, so that just never sounds right to me. But I guess just little small car, and you have to. I think it only had 2 doors.
Mm-hmm.
And very basic. And I got it when I was like 17 or something. And my friend and I are blasting the Numa Numa song.
Oh my god.
So we're dancing.
Oh my god. See, I've never done anything like that. The closest
And
I
people
got
were
to
just
like joyriding, I guess, wasn't even in a car because my good friend took me on a 4-wheeler one time all around their ranch, and that was really fun. And there wasn't anywhere to go. We didn't need to be anywhere. It was just to ride the thing.
And just so you know, that's not me.
No, different friend.
different friend.
I didn't know this friend when I was in high school.
Oh.
For shame for me. Because I would have loved to know Scandal in high school. That would have been great.
I don't know if I would have liked to have known myself in high school. Like, sometimes it's there just like, I don't even know. But that's okay.
All right, so boring
not even
cars.
worth joyriding. Boring ass cars. Not that I let that stop me.
I joyride anyway, huh? Or, I mean, I stole their friend's car. I mean,
It's fine.
all right. I'd love to talk to you more about that, but I guess we're just going to repair the sign instead.
Sure, because we know how to paint and graphic design and all that sort of stuff. We could totally just fix it.
We're just going to go 3D print it in our house. It'll be great.
My God, you swear these people have everything.
I know, right? But we're not buying any of this, so when I go to the store, it's
Charity.
a type of a barter system.
Who?
Where Lily's like, how I have honey on my property and a whole bunch of fresh vegetables and fruits that I'm not using? Would you trade those for fish and metal and paving stones and live greenery and she's
all
just, what it is Lily is secretly an incredible business person, and she is just convincing everyone to trade. And then they'll just stand there after they've traded her like $5,000 worth of tropical fish and just stare at their 25 gallons of honey and go, I don't know what happened.
She's good at bartering, I think, would be, haggling.
Haggling, bartering, that thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know anything about neon sign a neon sign?
That's neon?
So this one's all on you, which I assume you know about, because metalwork and neon signs are the same thing. That sign in the picture is not a neon sign.
That is metal.
So,
Like I said, Luke City! Ah!
also,
Luke City.
where the heck would you get an I-beam from to get tangled on that sign? Did we have a hurricane out here? Did we have a massive, like, Category 5 tornado?
Just need my tools.
All right, that means you're walking away. Bye. What was
Uh,
that gesture from Lily? Was that like a shaking of the hands or stomping of the foot or what? This is not a neon sign. What are you talking about? Okay, that's
What?
not attractive. That's
Oh.
okay. And that is wild as hell, but it looks the cleanest, most professional.
Yeah.
Though it is
I'm also
not,
like, we're not repairing anything to do with the sign. We're not.
I was like,
saving.
we would not be restoring this to its former glory at all, because none of these are what was here. And if this is specifically a nostalgic spot meant to preserve something like a small time capsule, or as I've said many times, diorama, none of these will do that trick. So I'm just going to complain at the writers here for a moment, and I'm going to go, okay, story convention time. This is a literary breakdown time of me as a consumer of your literature product here, this game that you have written. So, Mr. Jones has said we need to restore stuff to its former glory. Everything else to its former glory really can be interpreted as good as it was before, as pretty as it was before, as nice as it was before. But this, when you make specifically a diorama, specifically something that is supposed to look like something else, when you take a chunk out of the world and put it somewhere else in a mocked up version, a tiny Statue of Liberty, an itty bitty, like rocket ship, or like even, the cool sculptures that Aunt Mary brought home, like the artifacts we put in the little commemorative garden for her.
What is this, a school for ants?
Yes. I would say, so those all can work. But in this case, since we're supposed to be preserving something historical, we cannot literally change it and get it back to its former glory. And so
At all.
I do not find this to be congruous or to be well handled, even though I appreciate that they don't want to change their stylings for this area. I feel like this area does not fit with what they have set us up to expect from this game.
Except for the fact is that in other areas, they have totally taken control away from us and not given us 3 options at all. They've just restored things to whatever they wanted.
In a couple of places, and especially, like, they would focus on, so, like, they could do this still in the way that they don't focus on the sign, but the sign gets repaired when we do the area around it.
Uh-huh.
Like, there really would be, and like, you don't focus on the bus stop,
We don't focus.
Sorry. I was gonna say fix and focus, and I got stuck on both of them, and I couldn't do it. We don't fix this and focus it. Well, there we go.
That was pretty
so good. All right, anyways.
So I'm frustrated.
And then the things, you could focus on the things around it, and then it could restore it to its former glory. And you could make choices for the landscape, you could make choices for, like, the flowers and whatever, because a lot of that's not meant to be exact, because that will change over time anyway.
Yeah, the thing is a restoration is totally something different.
Yes.
Restore to former glory is not, let's impromptu go off the deep end and turn Jesus into a blob.
And the thing is like, restorative. Oh, God. You're referring to that. Oh, God.
Actually, I looked at that story, and there's way more complexity to that story, and I feel terrible for the artist that was involved in that. Like, she volunteered to do so. She didn't really know what she was doing, and it's not like it was a historical thing at all, but it was just a part of her community. It was a thing she offered to do.
We're going to have to link to this thing, because I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a restoration of a painting of Jesus mural.
Yes.
And there was a big fiasco about it. At any rate, but again, if something is not specified to be something specific, it's just generally a flower garden or generally a Zen garden, then you can restore it to its former glory by generally getting an idea and making it look nice. The way people refurbish but also remodel things at the same time, and they can be of equal amounts of glory even if they look different.
Right.
But again...
Which technically means, in my favorite way of looking at it, of going, do you know, guys, that all those wonderful marble statues that we have in museums where they don't have the correct color on them because they're all blank and white and just look like marble? those are actually incorrect restorations because, as we've come to find out for years, actually, and scientists knew this, was that they had originally paint on them. They were painted to look basically more lifelike, more interesting, because that's how they wanted to do it. They weren't just marble statues.
So the thing is basically what you get is you have these people carving these marble statues, and then you have them painting them to make them look like real life figures. The way we do a lot of statues and commemorative work and stuff is so they had skin tones, they had fabric colors, they had hair color, eye color. They were completely covered in paint. And people who'd been finding them, artificers or whatever you want to call them, restoration people, archaeologists.
Yeah.
There we are.
Art historians.
And then taking them, back to museums, they were like, yeah, but the paint doesn't look pretty. And so it's like they'd been removing tiny chips of paint, which indicated color and style for a long time, because they're like, but the white's so pretty. And it's this sort of glorification of the past that results in erasure.
And it was actually really funny to watch some people really react to it, where they tried doing a restoration project where they did theoretically what the statue would actually look like. And it was so funny to watch these people who are huge fucking snobs going, it looks so fucking campy and it looks gross.
It looks tacky. It doesn't look Grecian. It doesn't look Roman.
And you're like,
that's how they painted it back then, my bro.
So guess what? It looked like that.
You ruined dinosaurs with science. You've ruined the Greeks with science.
How could you? And it's like, that's what they looked like. Go bone yourself.
I just quote, you've ruined the Greeks with science.
Which is one of those things where they actually talk about, that's actually one of the big contributing factors, at least especially here in the United States, where you push a false narrative of returning to Western traditionalism, which doesn't fucking exist.
You go,
it's made up.
The past was better. And you're like, the past never looked like that ever. Oh, no, it totally did.
Oh, and the past was completely straight. Oh my God. No, it wasn't. Well, how are we looking?
I mean, I think it looks great. I just think it also looks wrong.
Yeah, no kidding. It was not...
Retro as heck. It also doesn't look neon, but that's cool.
I'm fine. It's okay. I'm into it. Makes me want to go out on a road trip.
Okay, so why did we use neon anywhere in here? Like, one, your standard metal road signs have neon nowhere near them at all. And also, like, why would you then replace it with something you assume is neon? And, like, this one could potentially, possibly be, like, neon lit up inside of a plastic casing, because I've met some people that are in the sign industry and have done signage and sign creation and stuff. And a lot of people that are in manufacturing do their own creation stuff outside of the field. So I've met people who are like, yeah, I totally work in a bread factory. And what I do is I make, neon signs or other, like, signage and stuff at home.
I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things. But I'm like, so you could theoretically say, even though it doesn't offhand look like it, that this is a neon sign, but the other two weren't. So why put neon in there unless it was going to be mandatory? And again, how did she extrapolate neon from a metal road sign? We could hit up Route 66 sometime. Are you asking him out?
Yes.
Actually, kind of.
Well, you kind of can't, since it doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, we could do it right here, I guess. Oh, well, that's no fun.
But we could still hit up Route 80. That goes east-west from San Francisco to Newark.
She's thinking, date. He's going, this could be cool.
Hey, road trip.
That's not a very long interstate. That's only like a 45-minute drive. And not even into another state.
All right, I'm expecting somebody from another country to go, that's fucking forever! And everybody going, in the United States going, ha, 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 ha. What?
What? Going, oh my God, it's so far away. I just keep hearing that exchange teacher from Spain going, everything in America is so far away. So far away. Why do you need a car? They tell me when I go to learn, I go teach Spanish in America, and I will go and learn it. I'm taking the teacher course, and they say, okay, first thing you need to know is you need to buy a car. She's like, I am a 35-year-old adult woman. I don't need to buy a car. And then they're like, to go to America, you need to buy a car. She's like, why? And they're like, well, to go to the grocery store, to go to the movies, to go to your job. And she's like, why would you ever need a car for any of those things? Because in Spain, she has never needed a car for any of those things. And she's like, in America, everything is so far apart. Nothing. You can walk to nothing in America.
Mm-hmm. It's actually one of those things that I think has been so cool with really, truly, with the advent of social media, of really going, you guys, this is what the stuff truly looks like. And as much as Hollywood movies are strange and unusual, and even for Americans who live here, there is lots of stuff that's just casually there that they're not wrong about. Those things are real. Like my friend mentioning, the Spanish teacher, she was from Spain, literally thought that school buses, big, huge, giant yellow school buses were made up. They were a thing for the movies. They are super freaking real.
And she was just having a weird experience when she saw one. And I was staring at her going, teach? And she's just like, they really exist. It's like the refrigerators that give you ice. Those really exist. It's so weird because you watch the American, soap operas, and they're always going to the fridge and they're getting ice, and all the time they're going to the fridge and they're getting ice. And like, you don't have that in Spain. I thought that was for the movies. She was so cute. I loved Senorita Leon. She was lovely.
She was fantastic.
All right, anyway, and not even into another state. Are you complaining? Because that sounds like complaining.
Dude, we know people who would be like, I'm gonna take a 3-hour drive, like, just to get somewhere, go hiking for a couple of hours, and then drive back another 3 hours, and then go to work that night after we just got off of work to go to that trip.
What'd you do? I spent 6 hours driving today, and it was great. And I'm like, you didn't even go anywhere. You went somewhere and came back. 3 of those hours were traveling the distance you already traveled.
What? Yeah.
Not a driver.
Newark, New Jersey, not California.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yes, is big. All right, well, in the next one, I suppose we're just going to continue going down the line with Open the Hood, because there's...
Honestly?
What?
I would have expected her to be more excited that he suggested an alternative rather than just turned her down instead of complaining. And then I'm not surprised at all because it actually fits her character that she doesn't actually jump on his, potential interest in her at all because she's having her own experience by herself.
Yeah, she kind of is, and it's really frustrating actually to watch this, even in just this episode, like before that point of her just being like, yeah, okay, and I'm like, why were you excited by any of the shit that he does? Like, you don't care. The narrative on this is like, I just expect that all men can do this, and this is just what men do, and this is a man, and it's really dismissive.
And also, like, if your neighborhood friend, your neighbor friend, Luke, came over and built this fucking thing in a couple of hours for you, this awesome, metal panel sign bolted together with an interior skeleton, exterior covering, and a custom-made, like, Route 66 sign on the outside, you do think that's badass as hell.
And even if it's also historically accurate, I would also be impressed of going like, damn, dude,
like,
you know
whoa.
your shit.
Uh-huh.
Like, that takes research and time and, comprehension and math and tons of other skills.
I'm also just like, that's cutting metal, that's bending metal, that's bolting metal, that's assembling
Welding
a skeleton.
metal.
That's creating a base because that's bolted into the ground. So he put a concrete base down first, then drilled that fucker into it so that it wouldn't fall over in the wind or sink into the ground. And like, not only can you not dry concrete that fast, but like you can literally see the bolts in the ground. I'm like, she should be as impressed as hell that he did this thing. And also like, damn, you have just given me a huge ass piece of free art. Thank you.
Yes.
Anyway, art is a big deal. But in the next one,
yes! Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to share our videos if you're also having a good time with us. Also, please feel free, if you want to support us more directly, to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. And other than that, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!